Forget fasting. Forget starving yourself. Forget the endless cycle of feeling hungry, miserable, and stuck. You've been sold a lie that the only way to lose fat and fix your health is to eat less. But the real enemy isn't the number of calories on your plate. It's a silent biological problem called insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is what locks your fat cells and throws away the key. It makes weight loss mathematically impossible, no matter how little you eat. If you've ever felt exhausted after meals, struggled with stubborn belly fat that won't budge, or experienced uncontrollable cravings late at night, your insulin is hijacking both your brain and your body. Here's the shocking truth. New cutting-edge science has revealed that you can reverse insulin resistance and burn fat not by eating less, but by changing how you eat. We were talking about biological strategies so powerful they can reduce your blood sugar response by over 30% without changing a single food on your plate. In this video, you're going to learn the exact 5-step protocol to reset your metabolism. Ranked from the easiest quick fix to the single most critical lifestyle change, researchers now call the metabolic anchor. You'll want to watch until the very end, because step number 1 completely contradicts what you've even told about breakfast, and it can turn your body into a fat-burning machine for the rest of the day. Before we begin, tell us in the comments how old you are and where you're watching from. We read and reply to every single comment. Now, let's get started. Step number 5. The acid hack. The acetic acid protocol. We begin with something you likely already have sitting in your kitchen cabinet, yet almost everyone underestimates its metabolic power. This isn't about an expensive supplement. It's about plain, simple, vinegar, specifically apple cider vinegar. The magic ingredient here is acetic acid, a compound that acts like a traffic controller for your metabolism. When you eat carbohydrates like bread, pasta, or potatoes, your body breaks them down into sugar using an enzyme called alpha-malase. That sugar then floods your bloodstream, triggering the insulin spike we're trying to avoid. Acetic acid temporarily slows that enzyme down. Think of it as placing a speed bump in your digestive system. Instead of sugar rushing into your blood all at once, it trickles in slowly. The result is a dramatically smaller insulin response. The data here is striking. A meta-analysis of clinical trials found that consuming vinegar before a meal significantly reduces post-meal glucose spikes. One study showed that just 2 tablespoons of vinegar before a high-carb meal improved insulin sensitivity by 19 to 34%. Another study published in Diabetes Care found that taking vinegar before bed reduced morning blood sugar levels, proving it works not just during digestion, but on liver glucose production overnight. To use this correctly, dilution is essential. Mix 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar into a tall glass of water. Never drink it straight, can damage tooth enamel and irritate your throat. Drink it 10 to 20 minutes before your largest meal of the day. Choose raw, unfiltered vinegar with the mother. This step requires no willpower, just consistency. Now that we've blunted the glucose spike chemically, it's time to use your body's mechanics to burn sugar immediately. Step number 4. The kinetic cure post-meal movement. Most people finish eating and immediately sit down. This is the worst possible thing you can do for insulin control. When you sit, your muscles are inactive, and glucose has nowhere to go except into your bloodstream, forcing insulin to store it as fat. Here's the secret. Your muscles have a backdoor for glucose absorption that DOS and T require insulin. When muscles contract, they activate GLUT-4 transporters, pulling sugar directly out of your blood. A landmark study from New Zealand found that a 10-minute walk after each meal was more effective at lowering blood sugar than a single 30-minute walk done at any other time of day. Timing is everything. The goal is to move when glucose is peaking about 30 to 60 minutes after eating. This doesn't require intense exercise. In fact, high-intensity workouts immediately after eating can increase stress hormones. What you want is gentle, steady movement. A brisk 10-minute walk is ideal. If walking isn't possible, climbing stairs, marching in place, or doing bodyweight squats works too. Your leg muscles, your quads, hamstrings, and glutes are massive glucose sinks. Contracting them after meals prevents sugar from becoming fat. This habit alone can dramatically lower daily blood glucose and stabilize energy. You're literally paying for your meal with movement. Step number 3, the sequencing strategy, food order. This step surprises almost everyone because it allows you to eat the same foods just in a different order. It's called meal sequencing, and it exploits how digestion works. Most people start meals with bread, fries, or rice. When carbohydrates hit an empty stomach, they digest rapidly and spike blood sugar sky high. This creates a huge insulin surge followed by a crash that leaves you hungry again. A landmark study from Weill Cornell Medicine proved that changing food order can reduce glucose spikes by over 37%. Participants ate the same meal on different days. On one day, they ate carbs first. On the other, they ate vegetables and protein first, carbs last. The difference was dramatic. Fiber from vegetables forms a viscous barrier in your gut. Protein slows stomach emptying. When carbs arrive last, they're absorbed slowly, creating a smooth blood sugar curve instead of a spike. To apply this, visualize your plate as a 3-course meal. First, eat non-starchy vegetables. Second, eat protein and healthy fats. Third, eat starches or sugars. By the time you reach carbs, you'll naturally eat less and digest them more slowly. This is the ultimate social hack. You can do it at any restaurant without anyone noticing. Step number 2. The restoration protocol. Sleep and circadian rhythm. You cannot fix insulin resistance without fixing sleep. Even one night of poor sleep induces insulin resistance. A University of Chicago study restricted healthy young adults to 4 hours of sleep for just one night. The next day, their insulin sensitivity dropped by 25%. One bad night mimicked prediabetes. Sleep deprivation raises cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol tells your cells to ignore insulin, so glucose stays in your bloodstream. This creates metabolic chaos and intense sugar cravings. Fixing this requires circadian alignment. First, get sunlight within 30 minutes of waking. This sets your biological clock. Second, enforce a caffeine curfew, no caffeine after noon. Third, cool your sleeping environment. Your core temperature must drop to initiate sleep. Prioritizing sleep lowers cortisol, restores insulin sensitivity, and unlocks fat burning overnight. Step number 1. The metabolic anchor high-protein breakfast. This is the most critical step. If you get this wrong, nothing else works. Skipping breakfast or eating carbs first thing spikes blood sugar and sets off cravings all day. A high-protein breakfast does the opposite. Protein stimulates satiety hormones like GLP-1 and PYY, the same hormones targeted by weight loss drugs. Studies show that eating 30 to 50 grams of protein in the morning reduces hunger, stabilizes blood sugar, and lowers cravings for the rest of the day. What you eat at 8 a.m. determines what you crave at 8 p.m. Aim for at least 30 grams of protein within an hour of waking. Eggs alone aren't enough. Combine them with Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, protein powder, or leftover meat. Avoid naked carbohydrates at breakfast. No toast, no juice. Protein preserves muscle, lowers insulin, and forces your body to burn fat. If you implement these 5 steps, protein anchoring, sleep restoration, food sequencing, post-meal movement, and the vinegar hack, you attack insulin resistance from every angle, you're not starving yourself. You're fixing the system. Now tell us honestly in the comments. What did you eat for breakfast today? And which step are you committing to tomorrow?